So I'm sitting here this morning and I'm watching the baby donkey, Beverly. And you know what they say? She's finally learning her legs. That's an expression my dad has always taught us. Uh-oh, Imogene does not want her experimenting and playing around with these chickens. She's trying to teach her the rules of farm life. And she goes, chickens are our friends. We're not going to be mean to chickens, but we can be mean to Forrest. And now this little girl, she is just so curious about everything going on around here. And so I put some feed out for Imogene. And Forrest has come up thinking he's going to just take a few bites. And you can tell they're being mean to each other. So actually, I have other feed in this trough over here for Forrest, and he just wants Imogene's. That's just kind of donkeys how they are. But this little baby Beverly, she is just so intrigued with these chickens. Today she's discovered her legs, and she's discovered chickens. And both of these things are, her mom is a nervous wreck though. Her mom does not want her anywhere near those chickens. I don't know why. And oh, Beverly is a little upset. She was having so much fun. Oh, look at that little girl. Folks, when they put their ears back and start kicking around, that is what... Oh my goodness. Yep, she's learned her legs. That's a country folks expression referring to an animal or even a child when they finally can learn that their legs can just open the world up to all kinds of new possibilities. And, you know, for the first couple of days, they don't really do a whole lot of that. They just kind of stand and wobble and stay right alongside mom. But after a few days, man, they begin to realize that, wait a minute, I can hop, and then I can kick, and then I can run. And once they discover that, boy, they get to be a lot of fun. You know, it's kind of like kids. Can we be honest here for a moment? Now, I know that there may be a big difference in the way ladies and the way men, women and men, see kids, babies. But to me, yeah, you know, you love your kids. They're your kids. They're your flesh and blood, or, you know, or if you adopt them, you love them. They are you. But, can I be honest? They're not a whole lot of fun until they're about 6 months old. Sorry. I'm sorry if I offended somebody. But, you know, I remember with my kids, and maybe it's just the guy in me, but I wanted to do things and go places. And, you know, so we got one of those little chest backpack things, and I'd carry your kids around in it. And so it opened up a whole new world of possibilities. We began to take four-wheeler rides and bike rides. Yeah, I was that guy. I may have some pictures I can throw in here. Hopefully I can find some stuff to show you. But no, before that, you know, when their little necks were too weak and had to be supported, and yeah, I mean, women can sit there and stare at them all day and talk about their feet and their smiles. Guys, look at this little girl. She has backed up to mom, and she's just being all kinds of naughty. And now she's going to go in for a little drink because she's hungry. It's time for breakfast. No, but I remember, man, once my boys got to be about 6 months old and older, that's when they became a lot of fun. You know, they could set up, and I would put them in front of me on the four-wheeler, and we'd take little rides, or when we went somewhere, I could put them on my back, and, you know, I would put them over my back, and they'd sit on my shoulders. I'd hold their little feet. We could do, you know, wherever we wanted to go. Of course, you know how women are. They want to get those strollers. And strollers these days are not little strollers, folks. Strollers are like mini cars. No, they have little roofs, and they compact where they can fold and double up and twist and turn, and they end up looking kind of like a large suitcase when they're all packed. But when these women jump out of the cars and begin to unload these things, I mean, all kinds of gadgets and gizmos and bells and whistles, and I never did that. I just would pick up the boys and put them right on my shoulders and hold their little feet as we walk along. The kids would kind of rest their, you know, they would put their arms over my head, and those are the good old days. You know, I would still carry Lex that way if he'd let me. He, around the age of 5, they get too old for that. They don't want to be picked up and carried no more. Some kids don't want to be picked up and carried younger than that, but no, I made sure my boys let me carry them, especially in parking lots. I always get worried when we're in parking lots about them going to run out and someone's going to come by like an idiot and run right over them. So I always carried my kids through the parking lots. Even now I hold their hand. But I don't know where that came from. No, it's just these babies are learning their legs, and when they learn their legs, they end up becoming a lot of fun. This baby was cute to look at the first few days, the first week. But all it was is kind of like a newborn baby. Cute to look at for a minute. Ooh and awe and how cute. And then you want to walk away. But now I can actually come out and actually watch it play. Look, it's going to bite mama. It is. This little girl, boy, Beverly's going to be naughty, y'all. You keep your eye on her. She is going to be a naughty one. And she's cute. And she's funny. And she is so curious about the world. You can see Imogene trying to nudge her away from anything that could be dangerous. Nope, don't go near Maggie. Nope, don't go near those chickens. Nope, don't put that in your mouth. And I think Maggie gets the hint. But look how curious Beverly is. I love that. So what I've done is I've given the donkeys, I've given these two here, Beverly and Imogene, access to the entire front pasture. And then, you know, it goes back behind the pasture here with Tex. They have a pond to get around in. They have a lot of grass on the backside. I'm keeping hay out. This is the good horse hay, the coastal hay. Even though they prefer to nibble on the Bahia grass hay, I'm still dropping feed, but the most important thing is I've given them access to go inside the barn right around the corner here. I know you can't see it. I want to make sure that that baby can get out of the weather. We've had a couple of colder nights. I wouldn't say winter storms, but just cool nights where it drops down to the 40s, maybe the high 30s. Wake up with a little frost in the ground. And it's supposed to rain today. So I don't know if it is or not. It doesn't look like rain up there to me, but it's supposed to rain. And so the sad part about this, the fact that I've given them access to the barn here, is that I know you probably can't see from here, but way back there in the back, I got Dixie. There is Voodoo and Bucky's, and they are so upset with me. Yeah, because I've taken them off this pasture. But for good reason. You all know that they have a tendency to bully the donkeys. And no, if it were to start raining, especially a cold rain, the horses would take over the barn and they would push the donkeys all the way out. And that would force the donkeys to have to stand here and take on the rain. And I don't want that for a baby. I get that these older donkeys are, you know, they're so built for harsh conditions and they can handle heat and, you know, rain and wind, but I don't like it. Someone sent us a video. It was a YouTube video, and it was the saddest thing. It showed these donkeys, just these regular American donkeys, along the beach in somewhere in South America or Mexico. And people, guys, grown adults can go to the beach and pay to ride these things. No, to ride them. And whoever is the the main guy, he'll help you get up on them. They have these blocks, and they'll put you up on them. Adults, guys, adults. Folks older than I am, and taller than I am, bigger than I am, fatter than I am. Huge adults, some of them. I'm not trying to be rude. But they get on these little donkeys, and these donkeys just walk right along the side of the beach in the heat. Guys, it's the summertime. It's the heat along the beach there, right along the water. And that just kind of breaks my heart. But I do know that these donkeys are very hardy, and they're strong, a lot stronger than you give them credit for. Well, you know, here's an example. Even Jesus in the Bible rode that donkey into town, into Jerusalem. Hey, here's a neat little story that y'all probably don't know about. If you don't know this story already, every donkey has this natural cross right down its back. Look, see that? If it's a purebred donkey, not a mule, you can see the cross on Beverly's back. You can see the cross on Imogene's back. You can see that same cross on Dan's back. Yeah, no, if it's a purebred donkey, folks, they all have that cross right down their back. Look at that. And there's a lot of people who say that that is a sign of something biblical. The fact that even Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, was still meek and humble enough to ride a donkey into the streets of Jerusalem instead of some white stallion, the way you might see some king, some earthly king do. And I'm not biblical, and I'm not even very religious, but that's a story that I always thought was really neat. Story about donkeys and that little cross on their back and what it signifies to a lot of people. I love that story. That is pretty neat, though, how every single one of them have it. And of course, you can look at his legs. He has the little tiger striped legs, the little zebra stripes, sorry. They call that Zonkey, Z-O-N-K-E-Y. So it's a cross somewhere way back in Dan, Donkey Dan, way back in his... What is going on up here? What are y'all doing? I'm sitting here and I'm seeing a bunch of hay falling down around me. And I see that these chickens and cats are up there playing around. What are you doing? What are you about to do? If Mom saw that, she would be thinking that I was... What are you guys doing up there? Boy, they're having all kinds of fun playing on this hay. Anyway, yeah, Zonkey. Donkey Dan, somewhere way back in his lineage, has some zebra. And so all of his offspring, and he's had 3 babies here before we got him fixed. All 3 of them had those same donkey zebra stripes on their legs. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and so the last thing I'll say before I let this video go is that she is going to stay here with us, folks. You know, we had to move Harvey and John Boy along. You guys remember those two. Harvey and John Boy were both males. And guys, I don't know how else to say it, but they were just downright mean. Like, can I say evil? Oh, you're going to be so mad at me for saying that. Well, most folks are not even watching at this point. 13 minutes in, most folks have already got, you've been long gone. You're already putting mean comments about the first thing I said, about the babies. You stopped right there and began to write comments. But no, for you guys that are still watching, in case you ever wonder what happened to the other 2 babies that were born here, in John Boy and Harvey, folks, they were just mean. And sometimes I don't highlight and showcase things that I don't want to showcase and highlight. And I'm not going to sit there and highlight and showcase things that those little boys got themselves into. But I will say this, that they were disruptive to the chemistry of the sanctuary, and they were brutal to the fact that they would trample, bite, stomp to death dogs, cats, chickens, goats. And so I'm not going to keep that here. And so, as angry as a lot of folks were, I have enough. We are blessed to have a reach to where we reach out to other sanctuaries or farms, and anyone who's in need of a good protective donkey, you know, for their larger animals, we have one, because they wouldn't do anything to the other donkeys or the cows, obviously, but to our littles. So donkeys are very protective, but they can also be very mean, and they can do things. Nature, folks, just nature in general can be destructive, and it can be really, really rotten sometimes. But no, we keep them if we can, and if they continue the fine balance that we have here. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed or not, but think about it for a minute. Just think about the harmony that you see in our videos. We take a lot of pride in that all these animals can hang out together and walk around and eat and graze together. You know, you got the ducks and the chickens and the geese up in that front pond, but right alongside them, you got the pigs and the goats, and you know, Donkey Dan lives up there, and Pearl lives up there, and so we take a lot of pride in the fact that our babies get along. And if we have one that comes along, that just disrupts all of that. And sometimes we will attempt to rescue or adopt one that just throws off the balance. And if that happens, we can't keep it, folks. Yeah, I think you understand why. Because it would force us to either fence it off into a pasture all its own, but that cuts off, you know, grazing and stuff for everybody else. And so we don't have that set up here yet. So, all right, I love you, buddy. You're a good boy. And that's a good girl over there. So far, so good. She's found her a nice little spot to lay down and rest while Mom grazes that little bit of grass along the fence line. And these guys look like royalty up here. You look like the Lion King. When Simba and his daddy, the Lion King, went up on top of that tall little cliff. Ah, Shilanga! Umbala! Something like that.